Hey guys, welcome back on Casey Reese, and I'm just gonna kind of mess around and see what I can find on my, regular acid that we've been making. So I'm gonna actually pour a little bit of, I'm gonna put the strainer in our cup. Well, no, in my container. You want to pour the salt actually this time, so it's gonna still kind of go through, but you don't want it to go all the way through because we're gonna actually make this stuff a little bit more tense, so that means it can actually start making like types of bruises on your hands. So I don't recommend making this. Actually, if you want to make this, I'm not the one that tells you that you can't. Take acetone from the last video, pour it in there like no one's business. It's gonna start coming out pretty fast. It's gonna melt. This stuff, it's time to use this. I had to use a lot of things for this, like the dishwasher soap, for instance. So pour that in there. That gives a different type of acetone. Don't drink any of this stuff, etc., etc. You all know it. Now put in the fuel, because that's what everyone needs. You have that mixed chemical reaction. Make sure it doesn't melt. You don't have anything near plastic. It's okay if your strainer's plastic, like mine. That's okay, but just don't let it touch anything else plastic. If your container's plastic, that's okay. Don't let it touch your toys or anything, because this stuff melts stuff, and we don't want you to have melted toys. And don't drink this if you're a little kid. I don't think you should be watching this. If you're my age, like I'm 12, then sure, go ahead. Don't drink it because you're smarter than this. If you're 5th grade, don't care. 4th grade, don't care. 3rd grade, I do care. The rest down, I care. So now that we have toxicity pack, I'm sorry. You want to take actually the rest of this strainer. Well, you want to take the rest of the last stuff that I was telling you about, and then I want you to put it in the strainer. And then actually, after you do that, you'll actually have a different type of chemical called O2609. I made this up. It is not a type of thing. I made it up. This stuff is actually very, very chemically deadly. Tried this stuff and I got a very bad rash. Tell you that it burnt my skin. I had to go to the ER. So don't be messing around with this stuff. It's not very safe to do that. Like other people say, wear eyeglasses and all that stuff. I don't. I'm just safe because I know not to touch stuff that's gonna burn my eyeballs. Always wash your hands, etc. If you do that, pour some more acid through it. It doesn't really matter. You're making acid, so it's gonna have the same content as everything else. You should, definitely be safe when you're using this. So, for instance, if you have a type of disease, wear a gas mask or a filter or a mask like COVID mask or any of that stuff. I'm not too big of a fan of COVID. Our president is a child sniffer, so sorry to give that away to you guys. Now take the acid that's in your strainer, pour it into that other cup. Now that you have that, you're gonna actually need, you're gonna need 3 cups. I'm gonna take this stuff, but first you have to have another cup. So, for instance, this cup I have, you need to put your strainer into it. Take this that has everything in it, pour it through here because you can't have any of this other stuff in there. If you do, then you have a chemical. You actually don't have acid anymore, just same stuff you had last time. It's not that good. Now pour it when you're done with it. I want to have all this other acid in this other cup, okay? Now you should have 2 cups empty. You should only have 1 that's full with regular water. Okay, so this is half full, like I said. Now I don't want it half full. I want all the way full. I put this acid in it. If it starts to get warm, just throw it in the freezer. It won't hurt nothing. Never does. Put it inside the cup just in case you miss, like me. Okay, now you have all that poured. It can actually, a lot of things that can happen, like, see, I missed all this other water. You can't see it because I have a bright light, but I missed a lot of it, so you want to pour all of it in. That's why I suggest put a cup under it. Put a Tupperware under it. Shake your acid. You have acid now. It's deadly acid, so it's not just acid, like stuff that makes you high acid, but this stuff can actually do some damage. Now put the strainer back in your cup. I want you to actually take the acid that you just had, dump it in there, because who cares? You want to take your regular acid that I was talking about. You want to pour it in there. Have a good life. This is a long video, but it will help if you have an intruder squirt this in his eyes, and he will literally come after you, but it's self-protection for your family. Who cares? So, now that you have that drain in, I want you to take your thingy, your spoon, push it in, try to get all this other chemical reaction. Now that you have 5 different types of ingredients, you just kind of want to make it so they're like this. There's barely anything draining out of this. So I'm just going to scoop it out because it ain't worth it anymore. I got all the acid I could. So now you have, all your acid, all ingredients. Well, I want you to take, I'm going to actually move you guys, sorry. You need to have a type of, I'm putting you against my window. Okay, so now all you guys have to do is I'm going to wash it. I'm going to wash everything, like my strainer, because this has to be clean. Those that need soap will damage it if it's you have your acid going through the strainer. It has a type of reaction where it actually doesn't allow the acid to do its own thing. It's like, no, you cannot, you have to go by manual rules, and that means being clean, not acid, then okay. So I have my strainer cleaned. All I need to do now is I'm putting my strainer back in somewhere. I have to clean up my Tupperware because no one wants Tupperware. I'm going to pour this acid into the other cup because I might need it. If I make another chemical reaction and forget how to make other stuff, I just will pour that into there. And I might make a good chemical reaction too. So, who knows? Next thing you know, so I have 2 clean things, this thing, my Tupperware. Now you're going to take the acid that you just made. I don't care if it's all of it. You got to pour it in there because you want to have nothing, and I mean nothing. I don't like to have, okay, maybe too much. So I don't like to have any type of salt water, any type of that stuff, because no one would. Now that you have that all the way full, you need to pour it right back in there. So this would be very difficult for me because I'm brain dead sometimes and I don't have a cup under me. So if I miss, I'm wasting all of it, literally all of it. It's not cool. Luckily I have a pan under me, so I'm all good. All I need to do is I'll just take the stuff from my other acid, I'll pour it in there, call it good, who will know? It'll just make it way more highly toxic. There it goes. Now I have less of this stuff, which is okay, because I'd rather have more of that. They're kind of the same thing, like I was saying. Rather have this than that. So, now that you have good old acid, I'm going to actually take all the stuff, I'm going to clean my pan. So you need to take your acid, you need to take all that crap, put it to the side. I have a pan that I need to clean, like I use my pan all the time, so it helps. You have a little cup like these, just set it to the other side. You have acid like this, like I set it to the side too. Set all your stuff to the side. And then, like, I have a pan, so I actually need to clean it. If you can see, it's a pan. I usually use this because I don't want my stuff spilling. So I'm gonna. This is a long video, but it's one way to show you guys that you should actually clean this. You should clean this stuff because there's only one way of getting rid of all that acid is the soap. And if you want to have a new fresh start, you're gonna want something that doesn't have acid. Even though if you're gonna make another acid, I make tons of acids all day. That's like how I have A's in all my grades. So these guys have to scrub it real good. Put some elbow grease into it. If it's already dirty, like if that stains on it, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the top layer stuff all clean, you should be all good. Like my grandma, she had it for like 25 years and it just had stains, but all she has to do is clean it, so technically she's all good. Now, as you wash it, you should just wash it like you do with anything else. If you're not the type of cleaner, then I guess get off my channel. Not really. I don't really care, but I just personally think you should always clean it, because if you don't, then it can have germs on it. If you just want regular acid on there, then it's good to have just acid, nothing else. Now that you have a clean pan, it's beautiful. You want to take this, you got your rag, and then you wipe it down like I do, and bam, you got a new clean pan. So I know this thing's like 12 minutes. You're like, oh, come on, guys, just get to it. So now, it's clean. So I'll tell you that it's nice and clean. You have a fresh start. Now you're gonna have to grab your other things. Sorry that I'm on the image. You're gonna need a little clean at least a couple things. So now that I have my this, I have everything else I need, and that's it. Casey out.